Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'm reviewing the Hoka Clifton 7. Alright, so before I get into my thoughts about the shoe, let's go over some of the stats. So the Clifton 7 has a 5mm heel to toe drop with a stack height of 29mm in the rear and 24 in the forefoot. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at 8.3 ounces or 236 grams. The upper on the shoe is really nice, no issues for myself. It's comfortable, it breathes well, has a nice gusseted tongue. Unlike the Clifton 6, which had a pull tab here on the heel, they've gotten rid of that in the newer Clifton 7 and extended the heel cup up so you can use this little tab instead of a pull tab to pull your shoe on and off. And the heel counter in this shoe is actually quite stiff, so it's going to lock in your heel nicely and add a little bit of support. Next we move on to the midsole. The Clifton 7 is rocking an EVA midsole, and this midsole is very soft, just walking around in the shoe and running as well. I wouldn't call this shoe necessarily too soft, but we'll get into the performance of the shoe a little bit later on. We move on to the outsole of the Clifton. Pretty minor amounts of rubber on the outsole. A lot of it's just exposed EVA foam. But where you do have rubber on the bottom is all in the right places, all the high impact places for most runners. So good job Hoka for not putting too much rubber on the shoe and making it too heavy. The Clifton 7 has what Hoka likes to call a meta rocker, which is essentially going to help you rock or have a smoother transition through your foot strike. I'm not entirely sure that I feel that when I'm running. I would say that this is a pretty smooth shoe, but it's nowhere near the level of the Meta Rocker that's on the Hoka Carbon X, which is one of Hoka's more racing inspired shoes. The shoe has a big time Meta Rocker to it. The shoe is also available in widths, so for men you can go up to a 2E, and for women you can go into a D width, so that's nice. Alright, now for my own thoughts on the Clifton 7. So this was a shoe I was really looking forward to running in. Previously I had tried on a Clifton 6 and I actually found it slightly too wide for me, which supposedly this is supposed to be the same sort of fit as a Clifton 6, but I found the Clifton 6 for myself just a bit too wide. It was too sloppy, so I wasn't going to buy it obviously. And trying on the Clifton 7, in my case at least, that was fixed. The shoe feels awesome when I walked around the store and in my house. Out running with it though, I did have some issues. So first of all, I've had many shoes over the years, and I can only recall twice that my feet have actually been sore after running in a pair of running shoes. The first time was the Hoka Speed Goat, and the second time was with this Hoka Clifton 7. That feeling has more or less gone away now, and I can wear this shoe quite often. But another issue I have with this shoe is I find it to be quite slow. So some of the runs that I've done in the Clifton 7, which have mostly been easy runs, I almost always find that my pace is quite a bit slower in this shoe. Now I know this is by no means a Hoka Carbon X or any sort of racing specific shoe, but I don't own many shoes that I run in that I'm noticeably slower in, and at least for myself, I'm definitely slower in my pair of Cliftons. So combine my foot being sore after my very first run in the shoe and me just feeling slow in the shoe, it's personally not one that I would probably ever buy again. But overall, I know a lot of people really love their Hoka Cliftons, and I think this is going to be a really great daily trainer for many runners out there. Not only could it be a daily trainer, but it can be your race shoe for half marathon, marathon even. Oh, and I should mention this is technically a neutral running shoe. However, it does have such a huge base to it that it is going to offer a little bit more stability than some of the other neutral running shoes out there on the market. So if you do tend to have a little bit of pronation, you're still probably going to be fine in the Hoka Clifton 7. As far as price goes, it's kind of on the middle to high end as far as most other daily trainers out there. It's priced at $170 Canadian or $130 US. So I'm probably going to keep wearing this shoe just for kind of those short, easy runs. But overall, as far as Hoka goes, I greatly prefer the Hoka Carbon X. I would actually use that as a daily trainer all the time. I love that shoe. It's so smooth. I feel like my legs aren't beat up after a hard or long run in those shoes. But then again, on the flip side, you are paying, at least Canadian, I think an extra $50 to get the Hoka Carbon X over the Clifton 7. So while this shoe isn't necessarily a huge win for me, I think if you're a runner looking for a really soft cushion daily trainer that can also double as a race day shoe all the way up to the marathon, then go down to your local running store and pick up a pair of Cliftons and see what you think. And if you're like me and you've worn Hokas and your feet have been sore the next day, please let me know down below in the comments so that I know I'm not the only person out there. And if you like my review, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.